Oh hi, I'm 4-year-old Dylan, and as you can see by the calendar over there, it's 2010, and I'm opening some new birthday presents I just got for Christmas. Let's see, we have Mario Kart DS, Thomas the Tank Engine Hero of the Rails, my personal game of the year. Oh look, a game that's going to be considered stale garbage in 12 years. What a crazy prediction. It's almost like it wasn't 4-year-old me that sat up a camera recording me opening my birthday presents and predicted that New Super Mario Bros. Would be considered stale garbage in the year 2022. The New Super Mario Bros. Series is stale garbage. Cue applause. Well, it's easy to say something like that now. There's at least 5 nearly identical entries in this franchise. It's important to remember that this was the first traditional 2D Mario release since 1992 Super Mario Land 2. That's a hell of a long wait for 2D Mario. You could have at least 18.67 kids in that amount of time. Back in the before Dylan times of February 21st, 2006, Nintendo announced that New Super Mario Bros. Would release on May 7th, 2006 for Nintendo DS, with the intention to sort of not really coincide with the release of the DS Lite. Reception was very positive, with computer and video games saying the audio will scare the pants off the hard of hearing. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. But like I said earlier, this game, or should I say game series, is considered boring and stale nowadays, with most people opting to play an older Mario game on the NES, or even just play a user-created level on something like Super Mario Maker 2. So what changed? What made this love side-scroller go from hot shits to literal shits? Also, there's nothing enough to actually play the game. This thing has been running since I was 12 years old. Mushroom Kingdom? I've seen this thing before, 2 out of 10 for originality. The plot of New Super Mario Bros. Is as simple as it gets. Bowser Jr. kidnaps Princess Peach. Go find her. It's a basic story, but to be fair, does it even need a story? With a 3D game like Super Mario Galaxy, sure, that's naturally a high budget game that gets more development time, but when you have a game about going back to the roots of classic Mario, you're probably best off leaving your character arcs and plot points at the door. So what do we have in terms of content? There are 3 modes: Mario Game, Mario vs Luigi, and Minigames. Thank God they told me this was a Mario game, I never realised. Mario Game is, well, a Mario game. You travel through 8 worlds, with World 4 and World 7 being optional via hidden exits in certain levels. But our classic selection of world themes is here, with the tried and true desert, mountains and green making an appearance. The levels are varied enough, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't bored of the start of World 1 always being a beginner level, a cave level, plains level and then a tower. Each world has about 6 to 8 levels, including a tower and a castle, where you engage in a boss fight that's so challenging it could rival games like Dark Souls and Elden Ring. I made it back to the world map while saying this sentence. In terms of power-ups, there's your usual super mushrooms and fire flowers, but New Super Mario Bros. Adds 3 new power-ups: the blue shell, the mega mushroom, and its 1988 movie's twins-inspired cousin, the mini mushroom. The blue shell seems like a good idea. While running, Mario acts like a 4chan user in a social situation and recedes into his shell, letting him break blocks and knock down most enemies, but if you hit a wall, be prepared to immediately fall into a pit in the most bullshit way possible. The mini mushroom finally gives Mario the one power-up he truly needed, the Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ. He can run on water and gets moon gravity for being small, which is neither accurate to the law of physics or a power-up. You also die in one hit as if you don't have a power-up at all, which gives you a bit of a trade-off. Do you want actual protection from enemies, or do you want to jump high? The mini mushroom can also open up hidden areas of special mini pipes, sometimes leading to hidden exits. This power-up is also the only way to get into the hidden world 4 in Mod 7, by beating Bowser Jr. as Mini Mario, otherwise known as the only way to make the boss fights slightly challenging in this game. And finally, the Mega Mushroom. Mario invades Godzilla size and demolishes anything and everything in its path for a few seconds. It barely appears. The only notable appearance I can remember is in World 1-1, but if you access these Mega Mushroom houses around the map and take a Mega Mushroom to any castle or tower, you can completely cheese the boss fight, including the final boss fight against Bowser and Bowser Jr. But if you do, you should probably be put in jail for life. Were you expecting a jail gag? Already spent a life sentence in my room for Mega Mushrooming during boss battles. And for racketeering. What was that about Mega Mushroom houses? Oh yeah, Toad houses appear around the map. Pay a few star coins, which can be found around the levels as a collectible item, and you can claim a power-up to use at any time. And as a massive fan of toll booths, I'm so glad they're being represented here. There's item houses, which can give any power-up, a one-up house, which can give the obvious, and Mega Mushroom houses, see 148 words ago. Overall, Mario game is a little short, but I definitely think it was serviceable for a new 2D game. The art style is probably the most distinct compared to later entries due to the hardware limitations of the DS, the level design plays nice, and the gameplay is just simple fun. And you can definitely extend the game if you go for something like collecting all the star coins, or playing through World 4 and 7, or by getting all the stars that appear on a save file for completing certain tasks. But that's not all New Super Mario Bros. Has to offer. The back of the box says it supports local multiplayer, and with Luigi on the front running with Mario, surely this has to be co-op multiplayer, right?
right?
I hate fake out multiplayer in video games. Imagine you want to play Super Mario Bros. With a friend, the NES has 2 controller ports, surely this has to be co-op. Just kidding, it's the worst multiplayer ever implemented in a Mario game. Now that I think about it, it's weird that they have so many images of Mario and Luigi running and jumping together in the box. It really promotes that you can work together in this game, not just a brutal fight to the death. Surely any grandma looking at that would say, my boy loves the colour red and having brothers, it's perfect. Mario vs Luigi is a relatively simple mode, connect to another player's DS whether they own New Super Mario Bros or not, and you'll get to explore 5 different relatively basic levels collecting stars and power-ups to compete with each other. You can customise certain things like how many stars it takes to win, how many lives each player has, and if you want a random or selected course. Mario and Luigi run around the level trying to jump on each other or give each other 3rd-degree burns while a star spawns somewhere around the level. First to X amount of stars wins the round, repeat until the end of time. While this mode is a lot of fun and a pretty good time killer with a friend or sibling, I think we all know playing the campaign with a friend would have been better. There's not a lot of replay value to this mode nowadays, seeing as New Super Mario Bros. 2 is a co-op campaign on 3DS. However, that requires 2 copies of the game to play together, which is pretty fair. Doing download play for Mario vs Luigi took a surprising amount of time. Can't imagine what it would be like trying to do that for the full game.
How funny if that doesn't interest you. New Super Mario Bros. Actually does have another trick up the sleeve. See, if we go past multiplayer and past whatever this is, we can actually go to options and start changing things in the game. Hours of fun.
You ever feel like turning a Mario platformer into a Mario Party?
Hey, you want to play Mario Party?
Sure.
Great. Everyone take a copy of New Super Mario Bros. Okay.
Yeah, me neither. Alongside making a charming 2D platformer, Nintendo also packaged in a number of minigames to play. Most of these minigames are ripped straight from Super Mario 64 DS, but you don't have to unlock them here. Now I haven't played 64 DS, but if you have to unlock these, call a local helpline and explain the situation for compensation, because these should be a human right. They're such a good time killer. You can play alone or in a group, which I do, but none of my Mario Party friends want to interact with me anymore, so we'll have to settle for one player. The single player offerings are a collection of 18 minigames, some action, some puzzle, and some gambling. They're all really fun and a great way to kill time, but it definitely feels like they were made to be tech-demos to swim the media at E3. Draw the trampolines, organise the bomb-ons, and gamble responsibly, all using the DS touchscreen, only $100, please buy a console. Now that's not a bad thing, I love the minigames, both in 2010 and now, but looking back it definitely feels like Nintendo just had some space on the cartridge left and drag and drop the 64 DS minigames over. And I can't help but mention gambling at least 5 more times. Luigi ushers in a new era of addiction by letting you play games like Memory Match, Paragon and Poker. Just literal poker. How is this game even PEGI 3? Pokemon Red and Blue on the 3DS Virtual Console got a PEGI 12 because of a fucking game corner.
Well, that was New Super Mario Bros. A relatively safe, charming looking 2D platformer that was certainly different from its SNES and Game Boy counterparts. So what changed? Why is this game considered stale now? The graphics are good, the gameplay is good. I can't begin to imagine why this would be considered... Am I getting a fax on my Wii? Ah, that's it. I made a sequel on Wii, which is pretty much just the same game, but in widescreen, and... That's weird. Don't know any other games called New Super Mario Bros. Wii, developed by Nintendo for the Nintendo Wii. Oh no. The series got run into the ground.
You ever hear of a thing called Groundhog Day? On the 15th of November 2009, New Super Mario Bros. Wii released for, you guessed it, Game Boy Advance. And if you thought New Super Mario Bros. Was a safe game to make, then get ready, because nothing screams corporate friendly like New Super Mario Bros. Wii's art style. The lack of sprite work and transition to 480p textures and models just make this game look straight up plain. But in fairness, it had been like 3 years since the release of New Super Mario Bros. At that point society was braced for a new 2D Mario. And similarly to 2D Mario's handheld hiatus, this was the first home console to have a 2D Mario since Super Mario World in 1990. The game has a propeller suit and multiplayer and not much else. Which on the surface screams, I'm a game series that's begging to be put down. But I'd argue it's what came next that really started the downfall of the series. New Super Mario Bros. 2 released for the 3DS on August 18th, 2012, and before I can even take another breath, New Super Mario Bros. U released for the Wii U on November 18th, 2012, exactly 3 months later. These 2 games are entirely responsible for the downfall of the New Super series, and arguably 2D Mario altogether. Aside from extra coins on a few different locations, both games were awfully similar to the first 2, and releasing so close to each other was a recipe for disaster. Everyone was just fatigued. The whole series suffered for that, including the first 2. How could I forget about New Super Luigi U? Released in 2015 as a celebration of the Year of Luigi, it was a tougher challenge designed around floatier and skiddier physics. Just sounds like having dyspraxia. But what sucks is that it's a genuinely good and fun platformer. It's a really different game. but it's all just too little too late at this point. Despite being called repetitive and boring now, New Super Mario Bros. Was certainly new at the time, but I imagine with Nintendo releasing just a port of New Super Mario Bros. For the Switch, we've probably seen the end of the New Super series. And I'll miss it. If they hadn't released like 4 games in the span of 6 years, I think it would have had a much more lasting impact on people. Some different art styles and a different direction, could have been a completely different story. But even as it is now, it's still simple but effective side-scrolling fun. Avoid the obstacles and make it to the flagpole without running out of time.
Now that was pretty much the entirety of New Super Mario Bros. Let me know what you thought, but before you go and do that, this game does have one final trick up its sleeve. If you'll down L and R before booting into a save file, you'll actually enter the game as Luigi with all new icons and sound files. It's like you can play Mario games as Luigi. But if they call it a Mario game, and you're playing as someone other than Mario, those fucking liars.